Tyler here with GP Knives, and today we have the Tops Knives Tanimboca Puukko. This knife was designed in collaboration with Goran Mihajlovic. Goran was originally born in Serbia and was raised in Germany, but has spent the last 20 years in Colombia, where he owns the Tanimboca Nature Reserve. Goran is also a custom knife maker and has been making Puukko-style blades in Colombia. And this knife is a direct design collaboration with Goran and is a very functional and well thought out Puukko design. It is going to be a little different from traditional Puukkos in several ways. It is a full tang blade, as you can see. It does have a very similar blade shape with the traditional Scandi grind, and we'll talk more about that a little later. It's got a satin finish with tumbled flats, and it is made from 1095 high carbon tool steel. Now, something you may not be able to see straight away is that it is a clip point here, and the clip runs nearly the full length of the blade, and this is going to provide a more fine tip for detail work. And you can see that a little bit here on the spine. You can see where it has been ground into that clip. And this is going to be different in the fact that the traditional Puukko typically runs straight out from the edge of the spine to the tip. You're also going to see a little bit different handle materials with the tan canvas micarta. They're attached with screws and hollow brass pins and some nice red liners for a little pop of color and a nod to the traditional layered look of Puukko handles. The handle also has some divots that can be used in conjunction with a bow drill for fire making. The handle is very ergonomic, and as you can see, it provides a full 4-finger grip, and it's going to be comfortable in a variety of positions, and it allows for multifunctional use of the knife. And here we have the Tanimboca Puukko with the Scandi Trekker, so you can see they're very similar in overall size. You're going to have an almost identical blade length. Profile is slightly different, as you can see a little more noticeably the long clip on the Tanimboca Puukko with more of a drop point on the Scandi Trekker. But you can see that they're both a modified Scandi grind. The handles are going to be quite a bit different on these. Same length, but obviously a very different design with different uses in mind. You can also see the blade thickness here. They are both about 1/8 of an inch thick with a squared spine on the Tanimboca Puukko that allows use of a ferro rod as well as using the spine to scrape tinder for fire starting. Now here you can see that there is a slight micro bevel on this blade, and this is where we're going to talk a little bit more about the definition of a Scandi grind. So many people believe that the Scandi grind has to come down to a zero edge, and while traditionally that is how they are made, you will find many modern Scandinavian knife makers making Puukkos with micro bevels. And this is because traditionally the Puukko was sharpened with a micro bevel during use in the field and would eventually be returned to a zero edge and then resharpened with a micro bevel. So the micro bevel just adds strength in use and also makes for easier field maintenance. And you can see that it is a very small bevel. And for a little comparison, we've also got another traditional Scandinavian knife, the Mora. And you can see here, it's a little more difficult to tell on the Mora, but it does actually have a little bit of a micro bevel on the edge there. And you can see how the light shifts right at the edge. So that is the micro bevel. A little smaller on the Mora, but they both do have a micro bevel. The handle on the Puukko has a nice long taper towards the pommel end, and this is going to help to lock the Puukko into the hand. And you can see here it just kind of wedges in there. So if you're using the tip and putting pressure on it, it's going to keep the knife from sliding, as well as the texture of that canvas micarta. In keeping with tradition, the Tanimboca Puukko comes with a leather sheath. You can see it's double stitched along one side, very high quality made sheath by Tops. Comes with a belt loop. You can see that they've kind of smoothed the grain out here for a very comfortable and secure carry. It's got a nice tight belt loop, and you can also run a ball chain or paracord through that loop for carrying as a neck knife. Now, this is a little large for a neck knife, but it's not overly large to where it wouldn't be functional in that position. One thing to note here as well, you can see with the Scandi Trekker, the sheath is going to come up much higher on the handle. This is going to provide a very secure carry of the knife, and as you can see, it will not shake out of that sheath. And here you can see the Puukko on my belt. It carries quite well, and the sheath provides very secure carry. The sheath actually requires quite a bit of pull to remove the knife from the sheath, and so two hands may be necessary when it is fully seated, but you can also put the knife only about halfway into the sheath if you are planning on returning to use in a short amount of time. And I just wanted to do a quick shot here with a couple of the knives. We've got the Tops Brothers of Bushcraft Fieldcraft knife, the Heavy Duty Mora Companion, the Tanimboca Puukko, and the Scandi Trekker from Tops as well. So this just gives you a little bit of an idea where the Tanimboca Puukko falls in terms of size relative to these other knives. Again, this is Tyler with GP Knives and the Tops Knives Tanimboca Puukko. You can check it out now at gpknives.com. Thanks for watching, and stay sharp. If you like what you've seen today and you'd like to see more, check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. Like the video below, and click the icon at the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe to our YouTube channel feed for updates on all new videos.